to share my garden with you. I don't. Good morning, guys. Morning. Happy day 3 of sun, even though it's a bit chilly and windy. That's the thing for those of you who live in London or who live in the UK, this weather is weird. You can literally feel the sun bearing down on you and be freezing. I was freezing a few minutes ago, but now that I'm sitting down in my garden because I have a south facing garden and the wind has abated a bit, it feels lovely. So I thought let me film outside. Like I said, I like this type of filming method because it feels more authentic. And also, I am quite busy. The idea of having to create a specific studio production, and I'm not saying there isn't any benefit of that. When I start my tech updates, I will be doing that. But I think when we're just having a conversation, talking about the Sussexes, what's going on in their world, and just generally the mess that is the royal family. I like this. I feel like I'm having a conversation with you. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. So quite a lot to go through today. We're going to start with, I don't know if I've said it already, but happy as ever anniversary to all of us who I know are celebrating. I thought it was coming out today. Because huh. Because it said one more sleep, but I'm in the UK and honestly the time zones are messed up. So I feel like it's coming out today. Anyway, I don't know. Today, tomorrow, it doesn't matter. I'm in Europe. From what I've been made to understand on the internet, Europeans will not have access to the store anyway until tomorrow. So that's a darn shame. Hopefully, we can get some of the jam. I'm not optimistic, but let's see how it goes. Americans, if it's coming out today or whenever it's coming out, please be sure to show out for the Duchess. And like I said, there's quite a lot to go through today. I want to celebrate some of the wins. Like, for example, Meghan has done an article with New York Times. Shout out to the squaddy that was able to get the excerpt because I'm not paying. I'll put her link in the chat, in the description. So I wanted us to let's read it together. I haven't read it yet. Inside Meghan's real kitchen, away from the cameras, cooking with the Duchess of Sussex as she navigates her rebrand from recovering royal to domestic goddess. Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, is already anticipating pushback on her banana pudding. Quote, I know some people will be upset that I took out the wafers, she said, crushing Nila wafers with a rolling pin rather than layering them in with vanilla pudding and sliced bananas, but I like them crumbled at the top. On a bright morning last week at her home in Montecito, Meghan roved between the garden where Prince Harry stopped by the strawberry patch in Birkenstocks to say he was getting on a work call, and the vast, well-worn kitchen where her mother, Doria Raglan, graceful in jeans, white t-shirt and silver nose ring, rummaged for breakfast in the double-wide refrigerator. Grandma Jeanette would have used instant, Meghan said, referring to Miss Raglan's mother, as they tasted a batch of homemade pudding flecked with vanilla, but she would have loved this. This looks delicious. I'm not really a fan of bananas. I don't know, what do you guys? I can't stand bananas. I'm not sure if you could convince me to try a banana pudding, but this looks nice. Last month, in her new Netflix series with Love, Meghan, the Duchess gave the world its first look at the remake of her life from broken royal bride to triumphant domestic goddess. I would argue, don't know about broken royal bride, but okay. She and Harry fled Britain and its relentless criticisms in 2020 to settle as a family in this safe, sunny, affluent enclave. But the show has brought some darkness back to her door, like Gwyneth Paltrow, Chrissy Teigen, and other celebrities who have cooking and lifestyle brands. Meghan doesn't have professional culinary training. Last week's visit, the first time a reporter was invited into her kitchen, showed that she is a passionate home cook who knows her way around the vinaigrette, is quick with a lemon zester and deft with a knife. I was allowed in on the condition that no photographs were taken in or of the house. Okay. Which is fair. At 43, with boundless enthusiasm and big Charlotte York energy, she's still figuring out her public identity. Again, I would argue with this. While pitching it to a global audience, her decision to do so may read to some as entrepreneurial or endearing or narcissistic, but you can't say it isn't a big swing. Yes, sorry, let me just interject here. When a woman decides that she wants to be a businesswoman, especially out in the media, and she's confident, let's accuse her of narcissism. People are abusing that word. I don't even think they understand what that word means anymore. Well, anyway, let's continue. Where did I stop? It's about to get bigger. On Wednesday, sales go live. Yeah, I was saying it, guys. So this definitely confirms it's coming. It's dropping today. This is as ever drop day. So excited. Sales go live for as ever. Meghan's line of food products priced from $12 to $15, including baking mixes, honey, internet famous jams, which to her dismay are labeled fruit spreads because of FDA regulations. The brand was initially announced as American Riviera Orchard, but was reportedly changed after trademark challenges. Okay, so I want to quickly say something about this now. Because I know the press has been harping on about trademark challenges, and I don't trust the press. I said in the past that I am not going to call her change from American Riviera Orchard to as ever a trademark challenge thing until she tells us. Now, I don't know how reputable New York Times is. This is a direct interview with Meghan, although in the past, let's be honest, people that had direct interviews with Meghan have also misconstrued or published terrible articles off the back of it. But because it's now been mentioned in the New York Times, I will take it that there were trademark issues with American Riviera Orchard. Again, this is not a big thing. Meghan herself has said anybody setting up a business, you come across these types of problems. But I'm going to still go with what she told us directly, which was, I want to expand beyond the American Riviera, which is Santa Barbara. So trademark issues or not, I will go with her explanation. I look forward to hearing her podcast. If she brings that up again, we'll discuss it. Last week, Meghan announced that she would host a new podcast, very excited, Confessions of a Female Founder, and started a Shop My channel where fans can buy clothing and products they see her in on screen from hand. With Love, Meghan presents her in a series of idyllic scenes, none of which were shot in the kitchen. A nearby house was used as a studio, cooking, crafting, and planning tea parties. But anyone who thought that truffle popcorn and balloon arches would be unconventional was wrong. When the show appeared, the millions who have long felt entitled to critique Meghan as a member of the British royal family were free to judge her as a wife, mother, cook, decorator, and hostess. And many did, calling her saccharine, inauthentic, and uninspiring. She was compared to Hannah Neilman of Ballerina Farms and other influencers riding the trad wife wave, who glamorize old-fashioned women's work like feeding chickens, cooking breakfast that many women have no desire to return to. The best episodes frame Meghan as a respectful student of chefs like Alice Waters and Roy Choi. In others, she is the teacher demonstrating recipes like pasta salad and entertaining tips to a series of friends who are charged with showing enthusiasm while she hands them a raw fish or ties a bow on a gift bag of peanut butter stuffed pretzels. Those episodes came in for the most mockery. Some criticisms were more pointed. Social media pros zeroed in on her Le Creuset pots, claiming they were too expensive for many black women to afford and are more ostentatious than traditional cast iron. In response, black women began posting photos of their extensive Le Creuset collections online. The journalist Michelle Norris came to Meghan's defense asking, why is anyone surprised or disturbed she would have beautiful color coordinated cookware? Does anyone drag Aina exactly or Martha for their cookware? In an interview, she noted that singling Meghan out for not using her real kitchen was also illogical. Every set is a performative kitchen, said Miss Norris, who hosts a podcast about cuisine and culture. I think she manages to pretend an authentic version of herself within an artificial space. Exactly. What's so bad about someone wanting to share their joy? Everybody has somebody or something they want her to be. chef Carla Hall, who was a model before she became a chef, whose culinary credentials were also questioned when she started her television career. There's no winning that game, which raises the question, why would somebody who has for years endured the worst type of public attention put herself back under the microscope? One reason, of course, is money. The production deal Meghan and Harry signed with Netflix in 2020 ends this year, and most of their other efforts, documentaries about Polo and Harry's Invictus Games, flopped. But Netflix is betting on her. The show has already shot a second season, and the company is an investor in her as ever brand. And despite the criticism in the past month, millions of fans have showed up for her. According to Netflix, the show was in the top 10 in 24 countries in the week after the premiere with 2.6 million views. Many of the clothes in Meghan's Shop My page sold out within hours or days. Since Jan 1st, when she started a fresh Instagram account, she deleted the old one shortly before marrying into the royal family. She has gained 2.7 million followers. The other reason is personal. I need and love to work. I love that. She said, pointing out that until she met Harry, she hasn't been without a job since she was 13. With 2 young children to raise, she said, this is a way I can connect my home and work. Archie is 12. Sorry, Archie is 5. Lilibet is 3. They have 6th and 7th in line to the throne. She's hoping to do that without feeding the fires of tabloid headlines and online gossip. Befitting a global brand chef, members of her team comb comment sections and social media so she doesn't have to. When I told her that about the Le Creuset controversy, she was baffled. She said, this is a thing in 2025. She said, throwing up her hands and turning to her mother. Everyone is coming in hot these days, Miss Raglan, 68, said calmly. Then the women moved on to discussing more importantly business, like whether a person needs an air fryer, why emission blenders are good for soup, and whether Grandma Jeanette filled hand pies with dried or fresh fruit. Meghan is upbeat, charming, and always on message when fielding questions from a reporter, but she is clearly bothered by accusations that she is unrelatable and out of touch. She may be living a fairy tale, but not all that long ago, she was a not very famous actress on a medium popular TV series. She was divorced in her mid-30s and unsure where her next home or job would be. Don't they know my life hasn't always been like this? She said, gesturing the sweeping views and sleeping dogs. I love that. That is a beautiful response, guys. She doesn't have to say too much. And I'm glad that the article might seem like, I'm glad that the article is not like absolutely doting. It's giving you as much of an objective view of her as possible. And I respect that. It cooks progress. When Meghan was growing up in Los Angeles, her mother worked long hours and had little time for home cooking. But Miss Raglan was raised with a strong food tradition. Her father, Alvin, had roots in Tennessee. My father carried a bottle of Red Rooster hot sauce everywhere he went, she said. For her mother, Jeanette, as for many black women of her time, cooking and gardening skills were a given. At home in the Crenshaw neighborhood, Meghan said her grandmother grew collard greens, tomatoes in the yard, whipped up hand pies from scratch after dinner, and did nearly all her cooking in one cast iron skillet. As a self-described latchkey kid whose parents were divorced, Meghan loved to pick up fast food. Jack in the Box curly fries were a favorite. Go home to watch back-to-back cooking shows on Food Network. Or I'd go to Grandma Jeanette's after school. She made the best after-school snack, Kraft grilled cheese on white Wonder bread. Meghan recalled dreamily all that butter. Miss Meghan's work as a travel agent meant the two took many frequent trips, trying out Oaxacan street food and Jamaican roadside jerk, and sought out Thai restaurants around Los Angeles. Meghan started cooking for friends as an undergraduate at Northwestern University with the Rachel Ray recipe for grilled cheese sandwiches, upgraded with fontina cheese and sliced pears. At 20, in a tiny apartment in Everston, serving that sandwich and a bottle of $2 chuck. That was when Trader Joe's was getting big. We all thought it was so fancy. In the years that followed, she threw dinner parties in Toronto, where the series Suits was shooting. She started a lifestyle blog called The Tig, taught Harry how to roast the chicken. the garden perfect roast chicken to be specific, which they were making together where he proposed. If you guys remember, that was what he said. It was so sweet. She used her short-lived royal platform to conceive and publish together, yes, our community cookbook, a collection of recipes by women who lost family members in Grenfell, the West London high-rise that was consumed by the catastrophic fire in 2017. In a Substack newsletter, the Royal chronicler and Meghan skeptic Tina Brown described the book as a moment when her culinary and lifestyle interests fueled with authentic charitable initiative and a PR slam dunk. Chicken nuggets to chantilly cream. 100 miles north and a world away from her grandmother's kitchen, Meghan removed strawberries from the garden, sliced, macerated them in sugar, lemon juice and zest to layer in with pudding and banana slices. Unlike the sleek white kitchen in this show, this kitchen, designed and built by the previous owner, has a weathered wooden island in addition to a marble one, a well-used Viking stove, and classic accents of blue-white tiles. There's an old-fashioned butler's pantry with cabinets holding glasses, tea sets, a modern pantry stuffed with carefully organized ingredients and snacks. Shelves hold cookbooks by Giada De Laurentiis, Yotam Otto Lengi, I think I know this person, Anthony Tipton Martin, and a well-thumbed copy of From Seed to Skillet, the 2010 classic by celebrity gardener Jimmy Williams, without adding and cooking from a home garden. And just outside the door, a framed picture of Harry as a boy with his mother, Princess Diana, holds pride of place. Meghan is quick to admit she has a lot to learn. This house, equipped with 2 pizza ovens, are mostly dormant, and she said her first attempt at sourdough bread was both boring and traumatic enough to send her back to the bakeries. There are professionals who do that better than I ever will. When it's just her and her kids for dinner, she said she often relies on chicken nuggets, veggie burgers, tater tots. The freezer is stuffed with them. What may help her stand out in this crowded field of food influencing is her eye for detail, calligraphy, gift wrapping skills. She developed to pick up extra money and now being put to work leveling layer cakes and stuffing salads just so. She truly cares which direction the radishes are pointing on the charcuterie board. She really does sometimes transfer takeout food to serving dishes. I have seen the platters. To finish the pudding, she got out the hand mixer to make chantilly cream, the vanilla spiked sweetened whipped cream that would give the dessert its name, Chantilly Lily, after the 3-year-old redhead who had just arrived home. Miss Ragland said she still wasn't convinced she needed a hand mixer of her own. She has a KitchenAid stand mixer at her home in Los Angeles. Duchess rolled her eyes at her mother as daughters do. My mom still has Grandma Jeanette's cast iron skillet. That's what I really want. I loved it. Beautiful. Is this type of articles that I'm expecting from public, and I hope for people who want access, because let's be honest, they all do, who want access to Meghan. This is what we're expecting. We're not expecting you to fawn over her, and no, you are still a journalist. We expect you to be objective, but that's my point. Objective and not hater rating like that BS Jack Royston or the trolls online, or the so-called royal critic Tina Brown. I'm sure if we check that one, there's no such thing as a royal. Anyway, I've said it many times on my page, so I won't say it again. The so-called royal commentator to me is just, I don't know, nonsense. But anyway, I love this article. I think it's very fitting for her foray into this brand. I'm glad they didn't overly fawn over her, because that wouldn't be fair to her either. I like its balanced approach, and they are right. The lifestyle influencing world is very full, and don't forget, for those of you who don't know who Hannah Neelan is, she's very popular. She's I think she's married to a very rich man. I think he's the son of the CEO of JetBlue, so they've been able to afford this sprawling farmland. She used to be a ballerina, but she gave up that career to become, I think she's Mormon. She has like 8 kids, and they live on a farm, and they're not living a cheap life, even though they sell you the trad lifestyle. The fact that they are monetizing that content, to me, is kind of like contradicting itself. And it's something I just wanted to touch on quickly. I don't understand why everybody is angry with women cooking and homemaking. This is literally our history. What is the problem with that? Like, as a feminist, I said before and I'll say it again, I don't get it. Why are we so angry that women want to cook? Especially if they want to cook for a living. It's not easy doing this. For people like us that make videos, I literally had to think about, okay, I need to come out into the sun because the sun is giving me natural lighting. It's not easy doing this. It's not easy sitting down and thinking about the recipes, trying them, setting, editing. This is hard work. And the idea that women are sending a bad message because they want to be mothers, homemakers, they want to cook, somehow it's a problem and it's against the feminist movement. It's stupid to me. There's nothing wrong with being a career woman who doesn't want that lifestyle, and there's nothing wrong with being a woman who wants that lifestyle. If you're doing it for engagement, you're making money anyway, so technically you aren't a trad wife. So I guess I'm just saying that I don't understand the criticism. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm being an inauthentic feminist by saying I don't understand the criticism against women who want to be homemakers? I don't know. Anyway, I thought it was a wonderful article. I liked it. I love how balanced it is. And I'd like to see more of this. Don't always fawn over her. She's a human being. Tell us the truth. Keep it as clear and as objective as possible. Just don't be nasty for nasty's sake. They were right to call out the criticisms of the show, in as much as I think the criticisms were unnecessarily harsh and didn't give it a chance, and people are assholes. People have a right to say they didn't like this show. You know, a lot of people will not like lifestyle shows. It is what it is. I probably wouldn't have liked it myself if I didn't like Meghan. Let me keep it 100. But like now, I find her show very relaxing, especially when I'm coding. And many women too. And I also love that they mentioned the conversation around relatability. I love that, because I've never understood that criticism. I love that she also mentioned the fact that, are you kidding me? I didn't grow up with wealth. My parents were divorced. My mom was not rich. I'm a latchkey kid. I ate takeout. I had to go to university. I had to work. I didn't have the luxury of not working. I had to struggle for a few years to get on a show. And they mentioned something about, like, where was her career going? Where was she going to live? She just came out of a divorce. She has not always been this wealthy. So this idea that she's not relatable makes no sense. I love that. I love that so much. And I hope that it can be a good talking point for those of you who come on my page, and for those of you who criticize Meghan and say it's not relatable. Her life has been relatable. You people are just pressed because she married the prince. So that's neither here nor there. And then the last thing about black women. Oh, I love that. Because people like doing what I call consent trolling. Especially when it's consent trolling for black women. And it's always white women. I'm sorry to say, white people. Oh, it's not relatable to that, to us. And then that's your broke ass. Black women brought out their Le Creuset sets. Thank you very bloody much. I think black women love luxury. Like, black women love luxury. I'm a black woman, I'll say it. And many of us are actually doing quite well, contrary to what the media tells you. A lot of black women are quite successful because it's drilled into our head as kids to work hard and to put certain things in place. I'm very sure you'll be hard bent to find a middle class and upper black woman that didn't have a Le Creuset set. So the media can miss me with that. If you broke racists don't have any money and you can't afford Le Creuset, please don't paint all of us in the same brush. And I love that she mentioned that here. So yeah, what do you guys think? I love that article, and I think it's one of the best ones I've read from Meghan. And thank you for staying with me while I recap the whole article. Good. This is from Magali. I'll put her link in the chat. So there's something else I also want to talk about. Okay, let's talk about this, guys. Shout out to Zandy as always, but I think I was able to find a longer one. Yeah, this one. Meghan updates. I don't have, for those of you who are wondering, I don't have Instagram and I am not going to install Instagram, but I'm happy to take the excerpt. So I'm going to play this for you guys. It's so nice to see Doria.
It's really, because once you get to the bottom, it tastes like a banana. you dun, dun, dun. My mom has nothing to say. When I'm done.
We rarely see Doria, so I'm so happy to see her at home in the kitchen because again, that racist concern troll. People were like, and that horse teeth Kate man said that we didn't get to see Doria in the kitchen, and I'm like, why are you looking for Doria? Doria has obviously famously shown she's not here for all these shenanigans. She's here for her baby and her grandbabies. She's shown when she's on screen when she wants to be, and I love that for her. And like I said, I just love seeing her. Here, I think I have
yeah. I'm really excited.
So Meghan also gave it, for those of you who didn't see it, Meghan also gave a shout out to her guy squad as well, the men in her life that have been standing with her. I believe this is one of Nate Burkos. I could be wrong. Anyway, it was nice to see her guy squad like Daniel, this guy, and the photographer. So here he is showing off his As Ever package.
I'm really excited to announce the launch of my new brand. It's called As Ever. This is the prototype actually of my jam. It's really beautiful. You just let it open like this and voila. As Ever.
And one more thing I also wanted to mention. I don't know if you guys know Brian Tyree Henry. I tried to find the video. I couldn't get it here. Brian Tyree Henry, I've been watching him since he was at Atlanta. He's a black actor, fantastic, versatile actor. So anyway, he's doing a film with, what's her name? The lady that did Wanda in Marvel. And they were talking about Meghan's show. They were saying that they love the flower sprinkles and they would love to be on her show. And Meghan responded, telling them that she was going to send them some flower sprinkles and some of her brand. Guys, I hope that they do come on her show. They seem like lovely people. Oh yes, and let me see. Let me quickly talk about this. And I forgot to mention yesterday. So Harry has is part of the Travelist group, and they are a sustainable travel company. So they published a 5-year milestone report with a video from him. I'm going to play very quickly.
We're now just 5 years away from the 2030 deadline for the Sustainable Development Goals, the global blueprint for creating a more resilient planet and quite literally saving ourselves. But it's quite clear we're not progressing as quickly as needed, and the economic impacts are only growing. These realities leave us with a choice: find practical solutions to climate change, or accept the massive financial and human losses that it's causing. I think we all agree that the latter isn't the answer. Travel can do a tremendous amount of good. It connects us to the destinations we love and to the communities that call these places home. It drives economic growth, creates jobs, and when done well, can protect the people, wildlife, and environment that we all share. When we started Travelers 6 years ago, the goal was simple. I wanted to harness travel's power and potential to help create a more resilient world. And I'm proud of what we've accomplished. We've been the first and only independent organization to mobilize competing tech and travel companies who see the business sense in sustainability. Organization to mobilize competing tech and travel companies who see the business sense in sustainability. We're aggregating essential data to help drive more targeted interventions from policymakers and investors. Together we're bringing sustainable solutions to the mainstream, providing travelers with clear information that helps them make better and more informed choices, which is what we know consumers want. We are one of the founding signatories of the Glasgow Declaration, which created the first concrete sustainability targets for our industry. We participated in global conferences, including COP29 in Baku, and we will continue this work at COP30 in Belém this year. We've worked directly with destinations and local businesses to learn how we can help them on their sustainability journey. And while we've made real progress, there's still much more to be done to protect the people and places that we all depend on. Now, our new report outlines the unique role we believe travellers can play at this crucial phase, and we'd love for you to join us on.
So yeah, just very quickly before it goes off again. So again, I told you guys yesterday that Harry is the only person that I think with his celebrity brings in proper funding and attention to his charity. This is an actual business, and you can see how well it's doing. And what I love about this is not just him saying it, you can literally get his financials and see how well it's doing. So this is the type of, I'll be honest with you, I don't like the royal family, the sheer history of what they represent. I will never tolerate it. I'm sorry, I don't care what people think. People say, oh, you shouldn't say things like Prince Harry is not your person. I don't have an issue with Prince Harry personally. I have an issue with what he represents, period. And I stand by that. But for the sake of Meghan and the children and Doria, and I can see how unfairly he's been treated all his life, I will fight for him and defend him. If I hated him, I would ignore the Sophie Chandoka issue and just focus on Meghan, wouldn't I? But it doesn't take. But like the point I'm trying to make here is, it's nice to hear him talk about business, talk about investments, talk about. This is what I relate to. I don't understand rich people, because even people that are extremely wealthy, they worked to get that wealth. Yesterday we're talking about Ian Rawlinson, and I was like, oh, he's one of these multi-millionaire bankers. Yes. And do I think there was some nepo babyism there? Of course, rich people move money around themselves, but at least he has something on his LinkedIn that can go in and say, oh yeah, he worked. As somebody who is working herself and building a business and living a certain type of lifestyle, I have a lot of patience and admiration, and I can relate to people who live that way, even royal members. So like I said, I can't stand the royal family, but if I saw members of the royal family like Harry working, doing real work, I don't mean doing what you call rich lazy people work, where you don't work actually, but you get sponsorships just with your name. That doesn't make any sense to me. He is actually working, using his platform and his unearned privilege to do good in the world. And what's wrong with that? It's something his kids can learn from. It's something that gives him, I'm sure, a lot of personal satisfaction when you consider him being the whipping boy of a very lazy future king. Good for you, Harry. I'm very proud of you. Now, one last thing, because I know this has gone on quite long enough. I'm sorry to spoil the joy, guys. I want to quickly touch on this nonsense. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to read. This article is stupid. We've already gone through. I want to talk about some things about this Sophie Chandoka